So we are so excited to be doing these new Discuss Detroit conversations weekly. We're going to be starting Mondays at 2 p.m. starting next Monday. And it's all about having conversations with small business owners, community leaders, city residents, which is what we do with our tours most of the time anyway. So through Detroit Experience Factory, we've taken 130,000 people on tours since we started, mostly going into businesses and talking to small business owners and community members. But then with City Institute, which is my new program, it's about sharing learn from Detroit, and we do these deeper dive learning journeys. Well, it's hard to go inside to businesses and talk to in person and talk to business owners, so we're going to do it virtually. And today I'm going to bring on Godwin, and he's going to talk to us about his amazing life story and small business story. So here we are with Godwin. Hi, Godwin. You're
Oh,
on.
hey. Okay. So it's red when it's live.
Yeah, I guess so.
What's going on? What's going on? How's it going?
Good. Thanks so much. I'm so glad we got this to work out. And you're our first Discuss Detroit guest. So welcome. You'll go down in history. It'll be like a trivia question 20 years from now. No.
Yeah, right. I'm
So
all about it.
I always like to just start with, tell us your 2 minute life story. How did you get here? And then we'll jump into the
Yep,
business.
absolutely. So it all started when I was 5 years old, and I realized that I came from a spaceship. That was the first step. I I knew that my thinking process wasn't the same as others, and so I had to figure out a way to assimilate. I wanted to make video games, and so my father and my whole family came here from Detroit by way of Buffalo, New York. Uh, my father was recruited to work on Marvin for the state of Michigan when we were first here. Great that everyone's using it now. It's fantastic. At one point in my life, I used it myself. But essentially, my whole life, I've just always been a go-getter. Freshman year of college, I played football. I was a resident housing association president. I was trying to be a resident RA at the time as well, and I had two jobs. So I just was always used to doing a
Let's
lot
give
of
him
stuff all the time. What's going on?
Oh, we lost you for like a few seconds there. So, um, go back to you had just he started work. He came to Detroit to work on Marvin.
Yep. Came to Detroit to work on Marvin. I'm like, what's the point of going to a city that they need a robot to protect, right? And then we come in and find that it's one of those great places that just draws you in. You fall in love with it. I ended up going to Wayne State on a football scholarship, and while there, I no stranger to hard work. My freshman year, I was a resident housing association president. I played football. I was still going to school. I had two jobs at the time. I was even trying to be an RA back then. And on top of that, I also did some promotional modeling. So I was in all of the Wayne State, Welcome to
Love it.
Wayne State memorabilia. I was on the welcome CD, the website. I did little tours of the campus and stuff for the new incoming
Fun.
freshmen. It was lots of fun.
So then, what led you to want to start a business, and how did you land on Yumvillage?
Well, we always knew that we wanted to do something food related. My very first job out of working for my father was working at the Wayne State cafeteria. So I was in the cafeteria. I started off as a dishwasher. I think most people go that route, and then from there I was promoted. I was able to, as a freshman, I was in charge of ordering, receiving, inventory. Essentially, I just ran pizzas for the cafeteria of the college campus.
Nice.
As a, I think it was like only like just turning 18 at the time, as I was like one of the lucky few that got to go to college at 17. So it was like, what? Wow. But then, as I was working in the industry, a lot of the folks there, like people always like look out, want to give me advice, mentor me, were telling me that it doesn't make sense to try to work in the food industry because there's no money in it. And so, my goal was to set out a sustainable business, in food that made sense, one that like still gave people an opportunity to like earn income, one that still provided affordable food. At a scalable rate so I could compete with people like McDonald's and things like that. And then one that I could be proud of, like
Yeah.
Yumvillage, we do honest, good food. We share Afro Caribbean culture through food and art. And as we continue to expand on product offerings, those are the things that we still try to keep, true and dear.
Well, and how did you I mean, it's a really, awesome and there aren't like a million different places that have the same type of food that you do, right? So how did
Yeah.
you decide to have, West African, Caribbean food?
Well, you know what? So our motto right now, African raised, Detroit made. And the reason why we settled on African Caribbean, not a lot of people know this, only a select few. So when Yumvillage first started, we were doing pop-up dinners around the city. We were like one of the original pop-ups. In fact, some of our earliest pop-up iterations were vegan coney dogs. We had like a Korean barbecue style coney dog, like a Southwest style coney dog. We even did the dogs ourselves. We did like an almond meal
Wow.
interior, cased them and everything. And from there, we ended up doing these pop up dinners where we partner with awesome chefs who really put me in the game of like giving me a crash course in all of the techniques that I didn't get a chance to get on in culinary school. But it's like a hyperbolic time chamber; those are always better. The pressure cooker and all.
Yeah.
So as I was doing these dinners, and we were able to get quite a bit of data. So, for reference, at our peak, we were doing 2 dinners a month and averaging about 80 to 120 guests per dinner. And at those dinners, we had surveys that we would administer by hand and then we had about a 75, 80% completion rate on those surveys. And the surveys were just more like quantitative and qualitative data points where we would ask, what do you think of this course? What would
Mm,
you rate this course? What was most important to you? How much would you pay? What would you like to see, etc. And probably like over 2,000 surveys by the end of it. And of those, we had about a 67% that specifically requested more ethnic food across the diaspora. So not just Africa, but Africa, the Caribbean, things like that. And they were requesting them to be serviced in the same way that you would at a tapas. So like a small plate kind of
mm.
place. And so as we're doing these dinners and things like that, I'm thinking to myself, like, man, like if I were to do like a food product, it would need to be a food product that is between $7 and $13, that has your protein, starch, and vegetable, and also fits within the confines of being products of the diaspora. And so hence, we have the African raised Detroit made. We've stylized and branded African Caribbean food in a limited casual market, and we did that based off of those price points of 7 to 13, and the essential growth rate of limited casual markets. Since 1995, it has been the only restaurant industry to see double-digit growth outside of the Qdoba and Chipotle E. coli scare, and more recently, these past couple of years, as
Uh,
they've kind of been at like 8 and 7, and then Corona.
yeah. So I just pulled up on the screen a little bit a dish here with so talk about like the hot bowls, right? So isn't it about having all the different, like you said, the starch, the protein, all in um,
Yeah, yep.
one meal?
Eventually, we got some awesome folks here. You can't see them right now; they're hard at work. Eric and Chef Lee here, Chef Sabri in the back. And the idea behind it is to give people the opportunity to kind of just have customized meal plans. Eventually, we'll get to the point where you'll be able to get the meal plans delivered right to your home. We'll have partnerships. Uh, our goal is to micro franchise our product so that you don't have to have an entire restaurant to sell Yumvillage. You could go start selling Yumvillage for us as a distributor partner and an enterprise for yourself.
Wow, that's ambitious. I mean, I think, well, and your father is from Nigeria, right? He
Yes.
grew up in Nigeria. Did he make some of these dishes that you're using now?
Yeah. Yep. So growing up in the house, we had quite a bit of a diversity, lots of different types of meals, and so it was very important to me to eat and make this type of food because I found myself craving it as I grew up, and no one was there to make it for me anymore. And like I stopped being lazy. I was like, well, you can cook. Just start cooking for for yourself. I forgot that you're supposed to cook for yourself versus go eat out all the time.
That's awesome. So when you decided to start the business, what was like the first step, and what were some of the resources in the city that helped you along the way?
Yep. So when I first started the business, I started like serving out food at different types of event and just seeing if people would even eat food that I cooked. This is like way before Yumvillage. Like when I was a district manager at Target, I would always like serve food at like nonprofit events and then give the funds away and
Nice.
see if people would like even buy stuff that I made. And so as I started to get more comfortable with my cooking after doing those pop-ups with all of the different chefs and things like that, it kind of made more of a sense at that point to then um, do that. So at Target, I paid for, like those people were like online. Like the internet is full of this type of stuff now where they're like, get this business plan or get this marketing plan or, blah, 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 right? So like at Target at the time, I was like young, like I was in my 20s. I like partied and stuff a lot too. Like I went out and like did all the party stuff. But I also was like, I wanted to like do stuff. Like I was going to be a rapper or like some type of artist or something or start a business. And so I invested in like art supplies and like all sorts of random stuff. But I also like bought, hello?
Yeah, you were here.
Okay. I also purchased a lot of that type of stuff. So I bought like maybe 5 or 10 different like business plan and marketing plan programs where they like pair you up with somebody and then you tell them what kind of business you want and then they go and do the market research for you and then they come back and then you do a business plan. So I like probably did that for like a fast food restaurant, quick casual restaurant, full service restaurant, bodega, just to kind of see what kind of market research I would need, what kind of information is necessary for the business plan, and then as I like continue to like grow and learn more, as I got acclimated into the industry, I was district manager at Target, so I got very comfortable with like supply chains and logistics, as well as just onboarding and managing large teams, project managing, turnaround goal sets, things like that, and then applying the actual experiences of the industries to those business plans as I was collecting them. Eventually, I was just able to like make my own from scratch versus like piecing together all of these like things I paid for and got from.
Right.
So after that, I submitted Yumvillage to be an idea for Bizdom, which was a business incubator at the time. While I was inside that process of trying to be selected, I felt like I was on a reality TV show, just kind of learning and piecing together, and at an accelerated pace, you have to like really think critically about team building, who's on your team, what your minimum viable product is, and what you're trying to sell, what the point is of being in business. And unfortunately, I didn't like make that group, but I think it was probably for the better, because then from there I was able to go through Build Institute.
That was like one of the first classes, right? Because like BizDem would have been like what, around like 2011 or 10, and then were
Yeah,
you
like
one of the first build
2012.
classes? Yeah,
Yeah, yep. So it was around like 2012, and then from there, I was able to do the build class when it was right there on Woodward inside
yeah. Well,
the
Beehive.
yeah,
So Build
yep,
Institute, right? That was that where so inside Detroit was our organization.
Out the door.
Our
Yep.
organization inside Detroit, which I started in '06, we got that space on Woodward that Nike is in now, right? And we had opened
Yeah,
that
yep,
first welcome
absolutely.
center in the history of Detroit, brick and mortar. And then we got to partner and be part of the Beehive, which took that space. We added the small business classes, with that, the build classes, which now have been so successful and amazing in the Build Institute. But yeah, that's probably where we met, right? In the, during
Yep,
that
yep.
time at Beehive. Gosh, it's been almost 10 years. I mean, it's 2020, and that was like 2012. And that was that 8
Yeah,
years ago. It's so insane.
yeah,
The
yeah.
build class was
It's
helpful.
been great.
That's great. And then when did you start doing so then you didn't go right, so that was 2012. The brick and mortar just opened last year. So
Yep,
tell us what you've
yep.
done the last 7, 8 years.
What have you been doing for 8 years?
No, I know you've been doing lots of great stuff. And that's what one of the things I think people think that, oh, you just go through a business class and then next day open a brick and mortar. And obviously that's not normally the case for
Yeah.
people.
No, I mean, in all honesty, so like after going through the class, then at this time, like I was a mortgage banker at Quicken Loans, because our original business concept, we were having so many problems. And so Yumvillage, we originally were going to be like A&R reps for chefs, like help with promotion, marketing, book deals, things like that. And so that's essentially what happened when I was working with those other chefs. I was coming on, taking pictures of the food, kind of showcasing talent, and really also learning quite a bit myself, because you're working with high level folks in close proximity. We're pairing it together for a for eight 80 or so meals, twice a month, and they're like 5 course dinners. So the average list price is going to be either 65 or 65 or 75, $80.
Oh, lost him. I know this always happens when you're doing technology stuff, but I'm excited to be trying something new. And when you do that, you gotta, get taking the bumps along with it. So, just to show you guys while we're waiting for him to come back, this is the storefront of Yumvillage right at Woodward and Milwaukee. You can see here. So they just opened last year in 2019. And they were already named one of the top 10 new restaurants of 2019 by the Detroit Free Press. And they have a really great inside area too, with this awesome uh, chalkboard, and people can leave notes, and it's like a community space in that way. You can see that their food actually comes in these bowls that are biodegradable, so no styrofoam. So that's sustainability is part of the mission as well. And again, the idea of tapas, it's actually one of my favorite things to do when going there, is to get a bunch of things, right? So you can get the plantains and the jerk chicken and the cheesy potatoes, and then you can share them with folks or not, depends on how hungry you are. But it really, you can put together a pretty awesome meal of all these, and they're all at that, like you said, $7 to $13 a price point. And one of the things that he, uh, yep, hello, we got you back. I was just in the meantime, we lost you for a second, but was showed him a picture of the Village storefront and told him where you guys were at. And then I was
Yeah,
talking about some of the food that and the dishes that you guys offer. So
yeah,
what are some of like the top dishes that you offer at the
yeah.
restaurant today?
Yep. So, but one of the biggest things was making sure that we work with today's special, right? So a lot of times, most restaurants when they operate, there's a natural atrophy that comes with the food, you know. So you want to be able to have good food, consistent. That's part of it, and so you
Yeah.
have a good menu. But then that may get stale sometimes. People get like tired of it, right? So one of the biggest things with us is our push for combinations. So, like at Yumvillage, we have our signature chicken that can either be roasted or grilled by Chef Lee, and then we have it's smoked on the grill, and you can sauce it. So we have a couple of different types of sauce, and then
Here's
we
a
actually have three new flavors that you can
Ooh,
get with the chicken now. So we just released Jezebel. You could get jerk chicken. You could get lemon pepper jerk chicken. You could get curry chicken. You could get suya chicken, a peanut dry rub. Now
mm,
we have also like a barbecue, like a garlic barbecue, and
oh,
then we have
that.
mango curry. We have guava tahini, and then we have a garlic parmesan peppercorn ranch.
So
So
some of
you
these
can
are
get,
new, right? These, like you said, these are new.
yeah,
I haven't heard about some of these. I'm excited to try some.
yeah, yep. So when you order your chicken, you can just get that flavor, and we put that over it. Or you could always get the sauces on the side. The same with like wings. We have whole wings or the leg quarters, which you can also get sauced up as well. Um, We also have an amazing pickle that we do. We have either pickled okra now or pickled cabbage, a red cabbage that we use with anise and ginger, cardamom, and
Uh, all this food talk is making you hungry, right? Well, when he comes back, we're going to find out about how you can uh, get food from Yumvillage because it is open during this time. Obviously, not for dine-in, but for um, for pickup and delivery and stuff. So, as you were talking about all these yummy things, why don't you tell folks how to get them from you? Right. So, you
yeah,
guys are doing
absolutely.
carry out and DoorDash. What's the best way that supports you the most?
So currently, the best way that supports us the most is to just call us directly and pay over the phone. We're working on making so that you can just go right onto the website and order directly from us onto the website so that we can then have it ready for pickup. And then we're currently going through delivery options right now. We got an exclusive delivery partnership coming up because um, we're very open about what goes on at Yumvillage. You know, we do open book management as well here with the team, so everybody knows what it costs and what it looks like to make this dollar bill. We just recently shared some of our Grubhub numbers as well for the April statement of $5,558. I'm sorry, $5,858, 58.58. We were only given a check of $3,000
Uh,
after all of their stuff that goes in, right? And so what most people don't realize, and this is for a lot of us right now, is that that business model is based off of that 58 number. So when 5,800, 30% of that is my food cost. 30% of that is like
right.
my labor costs, right? And then now it's getting cut in half and I'm only giving 3K of that, right? So like that Grubhub now is more like a promotional thing than anything. Maybe you get like $10 off the top or something.
Yeah.
What's really more scary is that in the past, last year for 2019, delivery was on like from
Uh, yeah.
delivery only accounted for maybe 5% of my overall business model. Whereas like now it's like 80% of my business model.
Right.
This is happening with many other um, small
Business. Yeah.
business operators as well.
So they call, place the order over the phone, pay over the phone, and then just curbside pickup,
Yep,
right?
yep. Curbside pickup.
What are the hours? What that people can do that?
11 a.m. To 5:30 p.m. We stopped taking our last order at 5:30 p.m. and then from there we'll work to get them all out, typically until about 6. As we see the state open back up, we'll look into expanding our hours. But for the most part, Yumvillage, as we've known it, is no longer the same. When we open, we'll be more of an African Caribbean bodega. Think of like a Noble Fish or like an eatery. We'll have more of your African Caribbean market goods in addition to also the food as well.
Okay. And is that 7 days a week right now? Monday or
We're closed on Sundays.
yeah. You need a day of rest. You absolutely need a day of rest. Well, and talk a
Yeah,
little bit about the pay it forward and like and what you've been and how you've been
yeah,
feeding
absolutely.
other things that you've been doing during this time.
Yep. So when all this happened, we closed for 2 weeks. Got everybody tested to make sure that we were all corona free, and we're on a consistent testing schedule. Every 2 to 3 weeks, we're having folks get tested, as well as having second shift teams because we know should something happen, you have to immediately close, clean, and then bring an entirely new staff into place. So
Yeah.
we've got those measures in place right now. When we in this 2 week period, we also signed up to start working on campaigns. The Feed the Front Lines campaign with the city of Detroit, which is supported. You can contact City of Detroit to support as well, where we feed firefighters, first responders, EMTs, Detroit Police Department. Then we've got the Free Press Top 10, in which we all of the top 10 restaurants, like Ema and She Wolf, we all got together with Free Press through a campaign which has raised over $100,000 towards feeding different hospitals and healthcare professionals and practitioners. And so with that, we are going around delivering meals weekly to those different hospitals. This week, I believe we're doing a DMC. We've been all over. And then one that's near and dear to my heart is our Pay It Forward campaign. My mother works at the Neighborhood Service Organization. Myself and colleagues all partnered up. Shout out team to create this, and Shelly, Mel, Jeremy, Sarah, and getting this going. And so the goal was to get locally trade businesses, primarily businesses of color, to be sustained through the long haul of this by doing something good for the community. And in our case, looking out for a group of folks that sometimes is forgotten in the disenfranchised. And so we provide meals 7 days a week. And right now, we've raised over $50,000 in that campaign, and we'll be able to provide the meals at least through into June, from what it looks like, maybe even longer as the campaign continues.
That's so
And
great.
so we do that as well.
So
And then
people can
basically,
go
yep,
ahead.
people can donate to these campaigns. I have a link to the Pay It Forward campaign on my Instagram account right now. And then we have
It's so innovative, really, because it's a win-win situation. People were looking for ways to help, right? And so this way, so when someone donates, the businesses like yours get paid, and then people get fed. So it's really a win-win-win all around. I love the concept.
hey, we're here to support. We're here to support 100%. And it really means a lot to be able to work with businesses like Omar and Timo's, Detroit Pepper Company. It's
Right.
Ivy. It's awesome.
That's so great. And so we're gonna wrap up in now because we could talk
Oh,
forever though, but we like to do a little snippet. But last little bit. So social media, what do you want people to walk away with and call to action after hearing your story?
Well, first off, if you, I really want you guys to kind of think about this. So, like, there are measurable statistics out there right now on what people are doing, and the state of Michigan, 75% of consumer dollars that have been spent on restaurant-related purchases have gone to chain enterprises. In addition to that, for the most part, chains have been relatively unaffected by this in the same capacity that small
Right.
business operators are being affected. So if you really truly want to see your favorite restaurant or your favorite whatever survive this, you've got to support them because there's so many things that are going on, whether it be like trying to keep staff working or
Yeah.
just trying to make sure that we can keep our bills paid. The goal is to still be around and to still be an important fixture in the community, and us more than ever. Even now, us trying to do groceries and things like that is not so much an aspect that we're just doing what we're told, but because we also recognize a need. We've looked
Yeah.
around, we see that there is no African Caribbean marketplace within a 25-minute drive radius of our current location. So it makes sense for us to put something like that there. And with that, we'll give it the same Yumvillage quality and treatment that we give everything else that we do. Next, if you guys do order from things like Grubhub, Uber Eats, and stuff, please know that that's not us. We're trying as best as we can. Those institutions underpay their delivery drivers. They take such a huge portion from the restaurants to begin with. Please be mindful and empathetic of that situation. Like it, we're all in this together.
Yeah. Well, and that's really good to know. Is a lot of people I don't think do realize, that Grubhub and some of those are not the best way to get food from a business, right? So that's awesome. So sum up, we're gonna have people call directly and order takeout. It's a great Mother's Day. Mother's Day is coming up. You can get carry out for from Yumvillage. You can donate to many of the campaigns that he mentioned. Again, it's win-win. You're supporting a small business and feeding people that are in need. And then all the basic stuff like he's awesome. Godwin, you're awesome at your Instagram stories. He is never a dull moment. So follow Yumvillage on Instagram and Facebook and all of that. And just in general, support small businesses. I think small businesses are the backbone of Detroit. They are what makes us unique, and it's what it has in the past, and we want it to continue in the future. So that's why we're going to continue having these conversations, and we look forward to having you join us. And on that note, let's say goodbye to Godwin. Um, okay. Yes, I we'll let you just say goodbye, and we're gonna and we hope to see everybody at Yumvillage once everything's back to semi-normal.
All right. Hey, guys, we'll see you guys soon. Within the next couple of weeks, you'll also be able to purchase African Caribbean beer directly from us as well. Don't forget, we have a podcast, Refrigerator Diaries, Behind the Food. We love you. Order food. Be patient with us. We just have one telephone, just one. And
Yeah,
most of the people, like 50%, still have never had food from us. They're just hearing about it. So when you call and you ask us like 10 questions and keep us on the phone for 5, 10 minutes, just know that we're like not trying to rush you off, but we probably missed 5 phone calls or something like that. So we want to make sure we answer everything. We actually are working on getting all of the descriptions for everything that we serve placed on our website so you can use that and as a database and then go straight there and we can streamline our communication processes.
Awesome. Well, and that's the thing. It's all about, pivoting, innovation, figuring it out. And I think you're doing a great job. And you have done that time and time again, from the first concept to the food truck to the brick and mortar to now the store. We love getting food from Yumvillage when we do all of our tours and things. And we love that you're part of the Build Institute alumni. And we love having you as a neighbor, as we're over in Techtown. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, Godwin. And we wish you nothing but the best.
Thank you so much.
Have a great one. Bye. And that's it for our first edition of Discuss Detroit with Godwin from Yumvillage. I hope you all get to enjoy some Yumvillage sometime soon. And we look forward to seeing you next week on Discuss Detroit. Have a great day.